Alright friends, today is the big day. This is our last time working on our warm color, cool colors, sun and moon. So in keeping with our warm color and cool color theme, we are going to be painting in the face and the background of the sun with warm color paints. And then we're going to paint in our moon and the background of our moon with our cool color paints. When we use watercolor paints, we have to start by getting our paintbrush wet. When we get our paintbrush wet, it's going to be pretty drippy because these watercolor brushes, they are meant to hold a lot of water inside here. We don't want those extra drips though. So to get the extra drips off, we're just going to touch the inside of our water bucket, and that makes all the extra drips run back down inside our bucket. We never want to tap because that will splash our water and make a mess all over our desk and all over our artwork. So we're going to take our wet paintbrush, we're going to touch the side of our bucket, and then we're ready to start choosing what colors we want for our sun and moon. So I'm going to start with warm colors for my sun. I'm going to use yellow for the inside of my sun's face. So all I'm doing is brushing very gently the top of my paint. We're never pushing and scrubbing or swirling it around. Just brushing the top of it very easily. Then we're ready to start painting. And we want to be really careful that we don't paint on our moon. So I'm going to start just by going around the outside edge. I'm going to leave my sun's mouth white, so I'm going around his mouth. And because oil pastels are made with oil, you can paint right over the top of your details, and the paint resists the oil that is in the oil pastels, so it won't cover it up. So I'm going to get a little bit more paint, and you can paint right over the top of your oil pastel. Your paintbrush should be going back and forth. It should never go around in a circle. Your paintbrush should never have crazy hair. If you look at my paintbrush, it will always have a nice slick hairdo. It will never have a crazy hair. So I'm going to switch colors now. I'm going to rinse that one out. Again, I'm just touching the inside of my water bucket. And now I'm ready to get my warm color for the sky in the background. And for that, I'm going to use orange. So again, I'm just very lightly touching my cup of orange paint, and I'm going to go right over the top. And you can see on that yellow cloud, see how it kind of, the paint gets kind of balled up on top of that yellow oil pastel. It resists it. So I'm going to get a little bit more, get the drips off my paintbrush, a little bit more orange paint. I'm going to go around the rays of my sun, but you don't have to. If you want to, you can paint right over the top of those rays. It just depends on what kind of look you are wanting your artwork to have. I'm kind of wanting the rays of my sun to have those white spaces showing through, just to make it look a little bit more brighter, and so I'm going to paint around those rays of my sun. So I am done now with my warm color paints. So I'm going to rinse my paintbrush out really well, and I'm going to move over here to the moon. For my moon, I think I'm going to paint my moon, I think I'm going to paint it purple. So I'm going to get my paintbrush wet, get the drips off by touching the inside of my bucket. I'm going to get just a little bit of purple paint. I don't want it to be super dark purple. And then I'm going to paint right inside my moon's face. I'm going to be really careful not to touch that yellow of my sun here. I want my moon to have a nice light purple color. I don't want it to be super dark. That's the cool thing about watercolor paints, is that they can be really transparent, which means see-through, or they can be very opaque, which means not see-through. And I think for my background, I guess I'll do blue. I'm going to take a little bit of my blue paint, and again, I'm going to go right over the top of my stars. Really careful not to go into that red or orange of my warm color side. Get a little bit more water, get the drips off. And you should notice that my paintbrush never has crazy hair. It always is nice and slick. If you notice that your paintbrush has crazy hairdo, then all you need to do to fix it is put it back in the water, swish it around a little bit, and it will fix it, and then you can start painting again. Okay, so here I have finished my painting of my warm colors on my sun side and the cool colors on the moon side.